What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another cryptocurrency update. We're going to be diving into a variety of crypto assets today, going over the news and then some price charts. Let's kick it off. First things first, do not listen to what they say, watch what they do. So we have shared by Blockworks, some of the largest financial institutions in the world. Notice, Fidelity, over $4 trillion. BlackRock, $10 trillion today, also known as the company that owns the world. Their famous quote for the future, which is terrifying by the World Economic Forum, goes on to say, "You will own nothing and be happy." And as we know, BlackRock, one of the biggest custodians, even right here, they are accumulating single-family homes at an alarming rate, and they're even purchasing it well over, 30, 40, 50% above the purchase price. Something is going on. Yes, there are many narratives at play, but I want you to pay attention to that. And also, if you have time and you do follow me on Instagram, I share a story on my Instagram that could get my Instagram deleted. Please check it out. It's about a 10-minute video. I think it's going to have tons of information that I highly recommend you at the very least entertain the thought of. I don't want to, propagate fear or conspiracies, but I want you to pay attention to it and consider that as you continue doing your own research. State Street, another company. We uploaded the video on my second channel of Jay Biancomano of State Street. They custody approximately, 1/3 or 1/4 of the world's global institutional wealth. Reminds me of BNY, Bank of New York, which is also a RippleNet partner. And remember, the former vice chairman of that, Tim Keeney, is side by side with David Schwartz and Arthur Brito, who is the creator of the XRP ledger, for PolySign and Standard Custody. So I do think there's some huge connections. I don't think you can really dispute that and the connections to the XRP ledger for good or bad. I just find it to be very, very interesting. And now Charles Schwab, $7.5 trillion. And guys, right here, we have about $20 to $25 trillion in capital. And what are they doing? They're looking into crypto. And keep in mind, JP Morgan, which used to just always bash Bitcoin, then they invent JP Morgan coin, JPM coin, which is a closed network. It's permissioned. There's counterparty risk. It is just a leading bank trying to maintain control with this type of social credit system. BlackRock plans a blockchain tech and ETF and exchange traded fund. They are actually working on crypto trading desks. State Street works with regulators on a mega crypto custody push because they're getting in the game. They're a leading custody provider. We have Charles Schwab, again, proposing a crypto fund, and we also have Fidelity planning US ETFs tied to the metaverse. Now, we saw JP Morgan with their commentary about saying the metaverse is a viable investment or asset class, and yes, it will continue to be so. It's going to be connecting to the gaming industry as well. So this is what I'm considering. When the crypto market tapped $3 trillion, now we crashed, we're under $2 trillion. I want you to keep that long-term perspective in what this asset class could one day become. And now to be clear, I am so sick of waiting for crypto assets to perform. I know it's been a long time, essentially 1 full year since the entire market together all pumped up at once. But if you believe in your assets so much, you should be happy buying it at a lower price because you believe in it long term. So even back in March 2020, XRP wicked to 11 cents. Ethereum, under $100. I was buying it at like $90 on Binance US. Bitcoin, sub 5K. We have QNT, which was sub $2 for a moment in time. HBAR was actually 1 cent during the big crash in January 2020 after its launch, and then it was around 2 cents in March 2020. Algorand was around 10 cents. Believe it or not, we saw Algo wick above $5 and hit the 4.236. That's why I believe there's a crazy algorithm at play here, and then XLM at the time was under 3 cents. We have JP right here. I still remember when you were talking about Terra Luna at 30 cents. Last time I checked, it's about $85, but I was married to XRP. And the thing is, I've made that mistake with a variety of assets, and I don't want to be tribal. XRP is still one of my biggest holdings. That's not going to change, provided it's still below the 236. There's tremendous upside. I've seen all the documents I need to see to add that to my long-term holds, considering that central banks have already trialed it compared to most cryptos, which are just light papers and promises. I believe that XRP is legitimate. So now we're going to look at the Luna price chart, and I want you guys to apply this to any asset you're going through. Of course, fundamental research is one component. Social engagement is another. Looking at their code base, looking at their fundamentals, their tokenomics, their roadmap, actual partnerships, real people working for them. Is the team doxed? I could go on and on and on. But now this is what I want you to apply to any asset that you're nervous about. Will some assets not succeed in the long term? Will some go to zero? Yes. And will some perform like Terra Luna did? Yes. Now keep in mind, from the all-time low price of Terra Luna, back here around 12 cents, thus far compared to its previous all-time high, it has done almost an 850x return, over 800,000%. Now, I know some people are saying that Luna's the future. It's going to be, in the top 3 assets, and it very well could be. But for me, I'm just a lot more nervous going into an asset after just a mere 2 years, and it's done almost to 1000x. Keep in mind, this is from the guy that sold Luna too early, so I'm just bitter. I could be completely wrong. I'm just salty that I sold way too early. And keep in mind, you can go to my Instagram. This is my only Instagram linked in the YouTube video description. I will not DM you. Those are scammers. And as we scroll down, we can see right here, my screenshot for Luna. The most tokens I had at one time was about 300,000 tokens, but I think at this time I had about 250K. At this time it was worth about 130,000. And this screenshot was in August 2020. So buying it at 20 to 25 cents and then selling around 60 cents for a little 3x or 2x and thinking I'm cool. And I'll show you why I messed up. Times the current price of Luna of, say, let's just say 84 bucks. That's still around $17.5 million that I could have had in just a year and a half. Now, back in the day, I was looking at this. I didn't even know Arrington XRP was invested in this one. I actually just saw the connections to Visa. I listened to the CEO a lot and what they were doing and talking about regarding algorithmically pegged stablecoins, and I thought it was a game changer. And I was buying it at Bitrue when it almost had no liquidity, under a $50 million market cap. And what I was doing back in the day is me and Mr. Level Up were doing this. We're looking at the chart, and what he did was this, and this is what I loved. Check this out. Going to the weekly time frame for Terra Luna, looking at the pivots. We saw some targets. Yeah, okay, that'd be beautiful if we got a nice 10x from our entries down here. And then, of course, another thing I did, because of course we went above and beyond, we closed this gap. Because remember, some assets, when they have these, wicks in the previous high, they typically can close that level. Of course, H-bar did, but it went way above and beyond expectations. And even at the time, the highest price potential that I saw, and it's funny because I did a video about it when it was there last year, was this. All I did was a fib retracement from the candle body up here to the low, and I dragged over. And all I saw for that price potential for Luna at the time, because I was short-sighted, I didn't realize how much they were building. And my best guess at the time, when I was looking at Terra Luna starting in May 2020, all the way up until really I'd say around this level when I was selling up here, my best guess was this zone between the 3618 and the 4618, because I love these levels for confluence. And you can see, it was a good level, but I was wrong. It went above and beyond it. And the thing is, yes, guys, I've made so many mistakes. I've bought assets and they've done 80% crashes. No, it is not fun. I am so far from perfect, but I want to show you Luna from its all-time low. Buying it, it was only 100% up. Even if it's 500% up, I don't care. That is still better than when it does a 100x or an 800x in this case. And what I want to also note is this. From its previous all-time high, how long was Luna drawing sideways when people lost faith down here and typically sold? And of course, there were probably very few people in Luna this early on, but I want to see from this high, how long until we created a new high and broke through? 500 plus days. I'm in assets like Casper that are not even 1 year old, not even over 360 days old. What about Chainlink? From its previous high back in the day, 2018, how long was it here until it finally created a new high? 500 plus days. Interesting. Let's also draw a fib retracement with this, and from this high to the low, where'd we go? Funny enough, we reach a 34, so the moon scenario. We have a double top right here, or really a triple top, on the 3618 as well. So either way, if you simply, and this is something I want you to apply to other assets, this is something I'm going to follow for API 3, and I'm going to document it the whole way, is this. If you simply, from the high to the low, look at this 236 zone, and you only just DCA'd anytime price was down here, your average entry would still be below 44 cents. Now, I want to emphasize, I'm doing this for API 3. I'm buying it anytime it's below 370. I will not buy it on the way up. I don't want to buy it at $8. I don't want to buy it at $9. And I'll show you an example, because that's going to ruin my average entry price as an investor. I will only buy more if we are ever below that level, because I believe that API 3 is an asset long term that will reach these higher levels. So remember, Chainlink, another Oracle solution with over 1,000 integrations, took about 500 days to create another all-time high from this previous one from 2018. We have QNT from its all-time high in July 2019. How long until it created a new high? Over 500 days. Wow, seems like we're seeing a lot of this. And this is what I mean by H-bar when I say an asset has a wick right here. We end up closing that gap. That's just an example on H-bar's price chart on the 3-day. You can see Telcoin did in fact reach it and smashed right through that. Now the one chart that's interesting is, you know how I leverage and look at QNT on CoinMarketCap on charts.cointrader.pro? Because this is where all the price history is, dating back to 2018. And what upset me is that TradingView removed all of this data back here. And I'm wondering why. Because I was using all this data back here to analyze other fractals that I thought were in very similar positions as QNT was early days. So it's really annoying that they removed it. Makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist. But anyways, we're on TradingView now. QNT, the quant US dollar price chart on Bittrex. Now notice this. We have this crazy wick at $1,000 for QNT. Could we potentially someday close this wick? I would assume so. And that's not financial advice. I'm just a big believer in what QNT is doing for interoperability. So now looking at other assets, we have API 3 on the left, we have Bitcoin on the right. So Bitcoin, how long were we here from that previous high? Well, we were hanging out 1,000 days until we broke out. Now keep in mind, I showed you QNT, I showed you Chainlink, and I showed you Terra Luna. They were all from this high 500 days. How is API 3 measuring up? Is there anything alarming? Is there anything I'm worried about? Well, thus far, we're at 356 days. So we're getting close. And I am hoping that this is, in fact, API 3 breaking out of the triangle. Yes, I know, typical TA video. It can go up, it can go down. But guess what, guys? I'm still going to be selling at a higher price when those prices are reached. We'll turn the lights on. API 3. With the symmetrical triangle, you can take a measured move, and yes, I do believe it takes us to those higher levels. I'm not interested in buying when assets are up here. I don't want to buy Bitcoin. I couldn't care less about Bitcoin. Do I want it to do a big retracement so alts can rocket? Yes, absolutely. But now remember, if you simply follow the strategy, and I wasn't perfect, my first entry for API 3 was higher, but guess what? I've gotten my DCA down around these levels because of trading. Now, really quick, I want to show you this, and this will apply to assets that you are willing to hold for the long term because you believe they are building, they are active, they're a real project. And no, I'm not talking about holding something for 3 months and then being upset if it hasn't mooned yet. I'm talking about an asset that you are willing to hold and follow the charts. Keep in mind, with QNT, if you simply had your DCA under the 236, you believed in the potential of upside targets of even around the 4.236, that would still be a life-changing return. If you can do that every 6 months or every couple years, you're going to be in a much better position than the majority of people in this market. If you're DCAing below the 236 on a high-level view, you don't have to be a trader. You just have to at least try to buy as low as possible. And as you can see, I mean, even around this level, you can see volatility of 60-70% crashes around this level, watching your portfolio fluctuate. But those people that stuck to this macro view for 500 days won massively, because keep in mind, from even that low, how did it perform? It did over a 300x. So looking at API 3, how close are we to its all-time low price this wick, the back test compared to that, which is just perfect in my opinion? And where are we at today? We're about 270, let's just say 300% up from its all-time low price. Now keep in mind, assets, Terra Luna, 800x, Chainlink, 300x. There's a variety of assets. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to 100x, no. And I'm not even saying you need to find or call a 100x. What I'm saying is, look for 10x's, a 1000% move. Are they possible? Are they probable in this market? I mean, even if we reach that 34 extension, that's still not even a 200x for API 3 at $300. So overall with API 3, if it follows suit and follows this triangle, I hope it's not a fake out. If you simply just bought an asset while it was below these levels, and this was below this level for like 270 days, so quite a while, and you had your average buy under 370, and you don't buy when an asset's up here. You don't buy it at $8. You're not going to buy it when it's at $13. You don't do that because that'll distort and mess up your average entry price unless you're that confident. But with that money, instead of buying here, I would buy something that's, at the lower level. Because then when your asset's at the 236, your average entry is at 370. Even when you're getting up to the 702 retracement, that's a 2x return. You're doubling your money. When you're getting up to a 1618, that's almost a 4x because it's 300% plus the initial. And then if you're lucky to get a 4.236, that is a 10x return. Now, some people in the stock market are happy to get a 40% return in a single year, which is still exceptional. But to be clear, for showing potential of assets, and I've shown you many assets that have done 50x, 100x, etc., I want to show you the data. Are we seeing something out of the ordinary? Should I be nervous about API 3 when it's already building integrations to every single layer 1? It's building with some of the biggest in the game, has investments from Pantera Capital, Digital Currency Group, Emergo, Hashed, Coin Fund, all the biggest companies. No, I'm actually really confident in its long-term price appreciation. And I'm going to be holding this guy. I will buy when it's down here, and I do believe that I'll sell it up here. But yeah, just like I showed you in the beginning of the video, we have some of the biggest custodians in the game opening crypto trading desks. Yes, they've been accumulating. Why on earth would they tell you they're buying it? They want to position themselves, and then they'll go on the news and promote all the good stuff, and then pump the price. But overall, yeah, I am super tired of waiting. I want to see everyday people get some big wins in this market more than anything. And the news that has come out over the past 2 years alone, to me personally, has confirmed that crypto and the crypto asset class is here to stay. The question is, which assets will survive? And if you know or have a good shot at which assets will survive, I would be looking for those entries or planning for them so you can set some good buy limits or prepare yourselves to set some good limit sells as well. We can see about XRP Crypto Wolf. XRP is the number 3 for the top 10 coins by alt rank as well. I like looking at the XRP price chart as well compared to its 2013 high to the following high. We're around 1500 days from this high To today's date, we are over 1,500 days. This is like a coil that is getting ever tighter. And are we around this level? And I do believe that big moves are coming for this market, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, if assets begin to pump and do multiple 100% returns in a matter of weeks, I will be staggering my profits out like usual. And if we dump hard right here like this wick back in 2017, or right here after the SEC lawsuit, I will tell you with absolute confidence, I will be buying more. And last but not least, looking at the XRP price chart, I just want to show you a few things. So this is the 2013 high. Of course, this was the 2018 high. Now looking at the structure from the high to the low, we can see 1, 2, and then 3. So technically a triple bottom. XRP from these levels, of course, went right to the 4.236 and then went all the way to the 34 during this really super cycle, you could say, over the past few years. So if you were able to, just on a macro view, accumulate while we were under the 236 for this whole zone and you endured massive volatility, you don't have to trade, you just have to be able to endure these 70, 80% moves and simply dollar cost average until we get that breakout. That is one way for somebody that wants to be super hands-off. Now, could you be more profitable if you're more proactive? Absolutely. But I just wanted to show you long-term, I do believe this will be fine for XRP as well. Now, what's also really cool is dragging this over all the way over to the right, and we're still using the same high and the low. So right there, 2013, and then the July 2014 bottom. We can see the 34 right there, extension, really called the market top for XRP last April, around $1.96, $1.98, which is pretty crazy. Just to show you, these fib levels are very well obeyed. And I know some people will say, Kevin, you're an idiot for buying more XRP while it's below $1, below a 236, and that's fine. You guys can do whatever you want. I will continue to follow my macro strategy. If we go lower, I'm going to buy more because it's still ranging below the 236. And friendly reminder, from the high to the low, anything under, I would say maybe like 85 cents, that region. You could even be more conservative and go to candle bodies, which we can do. Let's go to candle body for that high. And either way, I mean, we're just riding that 236. So historically, I'm still interested in XRP at these levels. And friendly reminder, guys, I'm not buying Bitcoin. It reached up here. Ethereum reached up here. Ethereum probably has massive upside. I have some assets that I've shown you from their high. They've reached all the way up here. So I'm not buying those guys. I'm not buying the ones that are already tapping all these golden Fibonacci extensions. I'm just accumulating an asset that I believe in, that I've researched. If you have a better strategy, be my guest. But I just wanted to show you my macro view while I'm comfortable buying and buying and buying and trying to get my DCA as low as possible. I know a lot of us that have been here for the past few years, we talk about, hey, my average buy-in is, 15 cents or 30 cents. And I think that's going to be wonderful long term. And even XLM has broken its previous low that we had back here. XRP is still holding it for the time being around that 51 cent level. I still have full faith in these assets, guys. These are ISO tokens. They're backed by some of the biggest groups. And I believe this volatility is just part of the game. So not financial advice. Do your own research. I am not a guru. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. As always, guys, all cryptocurrency links and resources are in this video description. Thank you to all that like and sub, and until next time.